Welcome to AABLI Board Talks, where we're pioneering change.
The importance of mental health has been gaining traction for quite some time as the rate of diagnoses has gone up in our country. The pandemic has created even more obstacles for people as they're facing increasingly difficult challenges. And as board members, we're charged with governance and ensuring that organizations have a sustainable future. Part of this can also include protecting our own mental health so that we're able to lead, so that we can support our peers who sit on the board with us, and being aware of the challenges that employees may face in organizations so that we can ensure that we're providing ample support. So joining me today with over 2 decades of experience and leadership in mental health is an expert, Dr. Loren Hill, who is also a licensed clinical psychologist. Thank you, Dr. Hill, for joining us today.
It's my pleasure.
You've held several leadership positions in academia. You've chaired and served on multiple boards. You're also an alumna of the African American Board Leadership Institute. So with that in mind, are you seeing any trends about mental health that may impact boards?
Yes, I am seeing trends in mental health that would impact boards, board members, organizations. We're in the middle of a unprecedented pandemic. Unemployment rates are really rising. So what we're seeing overall, Myeisha, is that people are really stressed out. Stress can manifest in a number of ways. And what we hope to do in the field of mental health and behavioral health is provide people with some strategies that will help them reduce their stress and find ways to cope during these times.
Why do you think it's important that we care for our mental health particularly during this time?
Mental health is important. Mental health, mental well-being. In fact, the World Health Organization has long since said that there is no wellness without mental wellness. I'm so glad that in recent decades, the research has really moved in a way that shows the connection between mind and body, mental health and physical health. So if we are not addressing our mental health and wellness, overall, we're going to be impacted.
So what are some concrete ways that we can promote our own mental health and the mental health of others?
I would say the first thing that we want to do is recognize that this is a time where we're probably all feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed. Sometimes stress is an overused word, but I do think that it's totally relevant at this point because there's a lot of uncertainty. So what we can do is begin by understanding that we all have mental health that we need to take care of. And at the top of the list would be, what is our stress level? Are we feeling overwhelmed? Do we feel anxious? Do we feel depressed? What are we actually feeling? So take the first step of doing a self-assessment of how do I feel now versus how did I feel 6 months ago? And I think I would even say, let's go back even further because now, we're 6 months into, a pandemic, a shutdown, and this isn't just locally, it's globally. So where were you, I'd say, maybe around November or October of last year. And how were you feeling then? And how are you feeling now? You might even say, well, how was I feeling 12 months ago, right? Because last summer, things might have been going quite differently for you. So doing a check-in to see where I am now versus where I was at another point in time. Start there.
I want to know, what are some tips that board members can take away to help the executive directors of organizations? Because as you shared, they're also stressed.
For board members, whether you are in a leadership position or you're a board member, or even for the general public, people who may be looking at this and don't have a specific board commitment, make a priority. What needs to be done first? And I would say, again, back to my previous, your first step is your self-assessment. So you want to see if you're healthy enough, if you are in the right frame of mind, then you can make a priority list and make some decisions about what needs to be done first, whether it's in the household, whether it's the board, whether it's your organization, whether it's your job. What needs to be done first? And be okay with not having a laundry list of things. And you would know what is the first thing that needs to be done with the most sense of urgency. After prioritizing, you then want to be able to look at your list and pivot. What might be a priority today may not be a priority by the end of the day or even tomorrow. So have some flexibility, and allowing yourself flexibility to change and take a break and reassess is going to be the next thing that I would recommend.
And how do people, as they begin to prioritize, how do they know when they should seek help?
Well, I would say that in thinking about seeking help, it can be a sensitive subject, right? Particularly if you're in a leadership position. Because if you're asking someone else for some assistance, then maybe it might be interpreted that you don't know how to handle your business. But I would say the exact opposite. I think that oftentimes people might get into trouble when they don't ask for help. And help can come in a number of ways. One of the things that we do in our profession is we seek help through what's called a consultation. So I might call a peer and ask them for their input. I might call a former supervisor or someone who was more senior to me that held a position like I'm currently holding and ask them, what do you think about this? So seeking help is not a bad thing. It is actually a great thing, and it helps you to sort of unshoulder some of all of the pressures of having to go at it alone, which we frequently do in leadership positions. We take up this position that, we have to do it by ourselves, and we cannot be seen as weak, or we cannot be seen as incompetent. And I would suggest that that's furthest from the truth.
Many organizations may not have access to benefits to seek professional consultation, in addition to the mentoring relationships that you also discussed. In those type of cases, what are some ways that people can get help, in addition to finding help from a mentor, someone in a leadership position? What other ways can they find help if they don't have the benefits or the coverage for mental wellness?
I would say that you want to reach out to your network, right? So your network can be a few things. It can be people you know. It can be just asking, do you know anybody who provides this specific service? Do you know any organization that I can reach out to? I think one of the things that's really great about AABLI is that it provides a lot of support and networking. So maybe I'm looking in my previous example for someone to reach out to help me with an issue that I'm going through as a board leader. So if I can contact a mentor, if I can contact a previous person in that position, then they can provide me with a level of support. Now, if we're looking specifically for mental health services, I think the first thing that one should do is try to contact their insurance provider. If they are not able to do that, then there's a great tool called Psychology Today that you can go onto the internet and find a local therapist in your area.
Is there anything else that we should know as it relates to board members and mental health and supporting the organizations that were entrusted to serve and help to lead?
I would say one other thing that I would recommend would be to try to seek balance and don't go at it alone. You may be the first one in this position, but through AABLI and through your network, you can find someone to support you in what you're doing, because I'm very sure that you have great goals, that you are in the right place, and you just need somebody to say, it's going to be okay, and I'll be there to support you.
Dr. Hill, these are wonderful tips. These are very helpful for us as board members, as leaders in the community, and we thank you for your time today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.